What is up, everyone? Happy Monday. Happy hashtag Marketing Monday. This is the second one of 2020, which is kind of crazy. Today, we're mixing up the format a little bit where I'm actually going to be answering some content questions, some marketing questions, some really basic and some actually intense questions that I've found both using Quora and soliciting some amazing uh, community members to just find the right answer or find the right questions to ask. I think one of the hardest things I've struggled with recently is my content has gone very safe, and I get bored of safe, so I need to mix it up. So these questions should enable me to actually mix it up in a pretty good set of ways because, like I said, we have what do we have, like 8 questions, and throughout the whole live stream, we will be answering those 8 questions. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, thoughts about any of these, let me know. But otherwise, without further ado, let's get started with these. Okay, so the very first question I have, and what I'll actually be doing the whole time, is I will be dropping in the comments the question that I'm answering. So if someone shows up or watches this later, the question will be there under their convenience. So perfect. What is the most important? Blah blah blah. Can't even talk. What is the? Wow, can't even talk today. This is why you have extra coffee on Monday mornings. Okay, gotta sit down and let us answer this. What is the importance of digital marketing in this current time? So, digital marketing is one of the most important forms of marketing today, not just because it's democratized, but really because you and I have the opportunity to reach anyone really in the world. I think last time I saw there's over 3 or 4 billion people who have access to the internet in some form or fashion or whatnot. And in my opinion, that's where the leverage point is. How many people can you reach at at the cost that you can afford? If you're the Cokes or Pepsis of the world, if you're the Hondas, you can probably reach many more people than myself, a small business owner, or the person who owns a bakery, or the car manufacturer, or the car repair shop. So digital marketing is just a new form, and really just a form of marketing that enables you to get more personal. What is up, everyone? Good morning. Good morning. What is up, Daniela? Glad to see you here. Happy Monday. And Rachel, glad to have you guys here. So if you guys have any questions, make sure to throw them in there. But today's very simple. We're answering questions Q&A format. And if you have any, make sure you throw them in. So I will be throwing in every question I answer into the comments so that everyone will see what I'm talking about. But anyway, glad you guys are here. So the next question is, how can I attract and engage people with effective content? Very great question. And that's often the question that most business owners struggle with the most. It's not about creating the content. It's how do I actually now that the content's out there, engage with the person I'm trying to reach? So great question. And really, if you were to distill this down, attracting is in the word, it means proactive. So when you want to attract the clients that you want, let's say for myself, a small business owner who does marketing, my target customer is and customer segment is small businesses wanting to get online. So how do I go and attract them? I go to the networking events, I go to the places on the internet they frequently visit, and I go and engage them in the territory and the space that they're most comfortable in. Again, if you want to attract someone, you have to proactively go out there. It's just like going hunting, right? If you go hunting, which I'll be honest, I've never gone hunting, so I might get this completely wrong. But you go hunting, you can't just go stand by the freeway and wait for an animal to come to you, right? It probably doesn't work because there's too much noise. If you wander a little bit in the forest and you actually go and actively look for them, then you'll probably find them where they're in their natural habitat, eating the blueberries or blackberries or whatever they enjoy eating. That's actually a great analogy. So I'm glad we actually got that one out there because it's so true. If you want to go and engage and attract with your customer, you have to be proactive. So proactive could mean going in and following a hashtag and actually responding to people that have that specific problem, or that means going and actually spending money to run advertisements against someone or something that you're trying to communicate, right? So very great question. And the hunter and the deer analogy, that's going to be one of my favorite ones moving forward, because if you really think about the example I just said, this can apply to any platform, whether it's your blog. If you want more people to go to your blog, then you have to be active on social media and refer back to the blog and share the content and engage in Facebook groups and whatnot to attract the right people towards you. So fantastic question there. The next question I have is, why does a business need a framework for creating content? Why does a person need to have a plan for investment or for retirement? This is one of my favorite questions to answer, because if you really think about, let's talk about money for a second. If you were to just take that question and say, why does a business or why does a person need to have a framework for investing money? Then it makes sense. Oh yeah, you can't just throw my money at random stocks or at index funds I don't trust or at people I don't trust with my money. So your digital marketing and your content marketing is kind of the very same thing if you really, really distill it down. So why does a business need a framework for content marketing? A business needs a framework so that they know exactly where they're going. So if I, as a marketer or as the owner of the business, know that I'm putting energy, resources, time behind Facebook, then I need to know that the content I create for Facebook actually translates into real business metrics. One of the biggest problems in my industry is that we have these intangible metrics that, yes, impressions are fantastic, but if you don't secure, tangible business results, then again, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. So this question is really, really in regards to creating a framework that makes sense for your business at the specific time that your business is in. If you're going through a hyper growth phase, it makes sense to spend a lot more money on advertisement and hiring people to actually facilitate um, the mission that you have. But if they don't have the right framework to help get you to 100,000 extra dollars in revenue or whatnot, then they won't know where to start. So framework and a plan and brand standards are also important, because it really acts as the framework and acts as the North Star. Because in digital marketing, especially, you can go and take this conversation many, many different ways. There's, 12 or 13 platforms, there's newsletters, there's content on blogs, there's so many ways to go. And if you don't have a clear destination on where you want to go, you're going to get sidetracked and eventually not hit the goal that you want to hit. So fantastic, fantastic question there. I like these. Let me know in the comments if you like this framework. I kind of like just shooting off questions and answering, because, it took me, yes, I did get these a couple minutes ago, but so it hasn't given me the most time to think about it. And I like just kind of doing the fireside chat format with that. So with that being said, the next question we have is, how do you create multiple forms of content, text, audio, video, without burning out? The dreaded burning out question. This one, unfortunately, is the real thing. So I love comparing the burnout to physical burnout. Like, people set a goal to start on January 1st and actually go to work out every single day, and it's the second weekend. And I bet a vast majority of people have started to tailor off. They said, I want to go 3 times a week, and they've only gone once. One is still really important, but their goal was to go 3 times a week, and they're going to start losing momentum and eventually burn out. So how do you stop yourself burning out in working out? Well, there's different things you can do, and the same thing is relevant here. My philosophy is, make content creation so habitual that you don't even think about it. And again, that it could lend itself to the other side of burnout, where you're still doing a lot, but you don't think about brushing your teeth. You don't think about putting on your pants or your shirt or your jacket every single day. So you do it. My thinking is, don't sit down and commit to 3 hours of content creation every Sunday, because in my opinion, that's how you burn out. You're just going to dread this 3 hour gap. There might be other things happening in your life. So for me, it's find out those 3 or 4 minutes during your day that you have to spare or wasted time, and capitalize on that specific time. So that's why I talk about making content creation a habit. So when my coffee was brewing this morning, I took the time and I wrote out a text-based piece of content, which was 2 or 3 lines, so very, very basic, and didn't have to think about it. I was already on my phone. I was just kind of scrolling. So I had to make that little adjustment and make content in that moment. The other one, which many people talk about, is documentation. So that's why I talk about not just making it a form of habitual, but making it so intertwined with your day and spotting out those points of your day to create content, rather than, again, sitting down and doing it. So fantastic question. And in regards to the text, audio, and video, it's the same thing. So in the morning, if you want to shoot a video, that could be your video for 30 seconds a minute, right? The audio could be, grab your phone and speak into the voice memo and translate that into a post, and text the same thing, right? Like you're walking to the gym or walking from one office to another, just quickly write down a couple sentences. So great thing there. By the way, guys, my throat is a little sore. So if I'm a little quiet, I apologize, but that is why. But doesn't stop us, because here in the Nico Live experience in this show, we don't have, like my Spanish teacher in freshman year said when I said I didn't want to learn Spanish, she told me, no excusas. She would yell that out every single time, because I would be like, oh, I already have a second language. English is my second. She's like, me too. I know 4. I'm like, oh, great. Can't compete now. So it's always fun to go back there. So what question do we have now? What's an example of what not to do when advertising a business on social media? If you're watching us now, you're probably on YouTube or LinkedIn. So if let's make this very contextual, right? We scroll through ads every single day, and sometimes you don't even know, because you've trained your brain so well to just move forward. And my favorite advertisements to ignore are those of a corporate headquarters with a like 2 or 3 sentences of text and then a URL, and they're hiring or whatnot, and that's fine. But when I look, they usually have a fraction of the engagements of the actual followers that these companies have. I saw one that had 900,000 connection or followers. This page, it had 3 likes, and again, you don't know how long they've been there, how much money they're running. But to me, those type of ads that just don't add value, that are just generic, that don't really mean anything, doesn't catch my attention and makes me want to actually click on the link, those are a perfect example of ads that someone spent money to get that in front of you and you just ignored it. And again, what's the hit rate on those? I don't know, because I'm not running those ads. Maybe they're very good for certain things, and some people do convert, but in my opinion, those are the worst, those that don't add conversation, that don't add to the conversation, that are just kind of generic and the same old. On YouTube, another example is when you're on the YouTube pre-roll and it's an ad of a beach, and some people sitting there and say, the typical like retirement or invest in this and you get this. Again, it doesn't add anything. I've just seen those so many times, and I've associated with the with ads, so I just ignore them. And so those are really 2 basic examples of ads I personally do not like. I ignore them. So in my opinion, those are examples of what not to do. And I know one of these questions are about advertisements and what to do. So when we get to that, we will rock and roll. By the way, this is a very, very simple. If you're doing FAQs, what I basically have is a Word doc open with a list of questions. I'm just pulling them, copying and pasting them over. And again, that's how we're doing the back end of the show. Okay, what do we have now? Let's see. Sorry, guys, got to refresh for a quick second there. Darren, what's up? Happy Monday. A perfect example of what not to do would be look. This is simple. Exactly. Yep, Darren, you're on it. So, next question I have is, how do you create content? How do you create a content strategy that is deep, meaningful, and helpful, that doesn't add to the noise, which is kind of perfect to what we just talked about. But this is why I talk about the 3 E's of marketing, content creation, all that fun stuff. And I actually learned it from an amazing marketer, which is to entertain, to educate, and engage. If your content, if your marketing, if your messaging hits one of those 3, in my opinion, it's not adding to the noise, it's actually adding to the conversation. So, and I have to clarify, and I have to get better clarifying this. Usually a singular post can include 2 of those. So entertaining post could be educational, an educational post could be engaging, and a entertainment type of post can also be engaging. So I don't want to limit those, but one second, guys. Just got a quick call. That's a part of running a small business, right? Sometimes you're just going to need to answer those calls and texts and all that fun stuff. But hey, that's the real world, right? That's literally what happens. We are working with a couple clients, and one of my project managers are they have some questions, but everyone knows that this is the live hours. I will respond to that after. Okay, Darren, your question: are you able to put value to creating a long form offer? Darren, while I answer my question, explain to me and give me a little context on what you mean by creating value. Putting by put oh wait, wait, oh sorry, I read that wrong. Are you able to put value on creating a long form offer? No, the simple answer is probably not. Again, it's very difficult to say that, and this goes back to the golden bullet, right, or the silver bullet. There's probably no singular piece of content that will convert someone. Potentially, there's a series of pieces of content that can help convert someone, but I have people who read my book and still don't. That's what they like the book and that's all they want. They don't hire me as a consultant or hire Boundless to do anything. So, and that's a book is the number one long form piece of content that I've created. Right, that's 282 pages of pure knowledge and insights. Right, that's a huge value add. And again, can I put a value to that? Yes and no. I've had some people read the book and then convert and become clients. I've had some that read it and refer, but most of the time for one piece of content, probably not. You can probably put a number and value to a series of pieces of content, like a advertisement. You can say that I created these 3 posts that converted people, and at the very end, I put $100 in and got $150 out, right? You can quantify it that way, but especially with brand awareness and stuff like that, you can't put like a tangible value to that. I mean, to say, would it? Okay, I mean, to say, what would it cost me to hire you to create content? Darren, let's talk. If you're like Nico, I love what you do. Perfect. It's probably going to be a lot less than you imagine, and that's why I tell most people creating content, especially long form pieces of content, unless it's a book. If you're looking at like that ebook I showed you guys, I would charge a client how I would teach them how to do it and work with them the first time. So the first investment would probably be a little bit, but after that, there's nothing stopping you. And again, to Darren's point, like creating content doesn't need to be expensive. Boundless offers like our tier is $350 for a month's worth of content. Where I kind of do this very same thing. Don't want to self-plug myself too much, but again, it shouldn't cost that much. The problem I have with marketing is that we tend to overcomplicate it and overcomplex a lot of it. And if you just simplify it down and take it to the very, very basics of it, it's really not that expensive. So Darren, we can talk for sure about that, but let us keep going. Oh goodness, I was still on the 3 E's. Okay, so I'll finish up the 3 E's, and then we'll rock and roll, right? So the 3 E's is very simple. We want to entertain, educate, and engage. So like I said in the beginning, before the phone call, before all that fun stuff, basically all you want to do is create content that fills those buckets. So let me explain. To drive conversation, someone has to know who you are first. That's entertainment. That is videos that are super fun and talking about XYZ that grabs someone's attention. It could be formatting. Entertainment could be inside jokes between people in your industry. It could be infographics. Entertainment varies between individual and person and people. But at the end of the day, what is something that you can create, a message, a piece of content that will get someone's attention? The entertainment bucket is purely how do I get someone's attention and keep it. The education one is very simple. I want to educate you. I want to teach you about what I do, what I offer, what I'm up to, what the industry is, all those fun questions. I want to educate you so that you and I build trust together. Because if you know who I am, but you don't trust me, great. You just know a person, right? If you don't trust me and don't trust that I have the solution that will help you, then this doesn't really matter, right? You're not going to go with me and buy from me. And then the engagement, right? So we've got someone's attention, we've built trust, and now we have to engage with them. We have to make it real, right? Because once I know who you are and I trust you, I still have to make sure and have a conversation that you have a solution that will help me. So some businesses come to me and I'm like, you guys are way too advanced for me, or you're still working your product. You would not be a perfect fit for what I offer. So you want to engage with them and make sure that the solution you have is contextually relevant to them, and at the end of the day, very beneficial to them. Because again, if I create content or I do if I create content, or I create something that you resonate with, and you're like, that checked the box, I want to move. Basically, at the end of the day, the engagement is the selling, right? So marketing really is the first two E's. The engagement is usually when the business developer, the salesperson, or the person actually closing or going to manage the account steps in. So you want to engage with them, make sure that the offer makes sense for them at their time. Oh goodness, I have three more questions I really wanted to get to, but I do actually have to start heading out. Probably uh, I have to probably call this person back to make sure that there's no problems with that, because that's I pride myself in always being responsive, but gotta take care of the people at life. So anyway, I have three more questions. I will either do them tomorrow morning before my Toastmasters meeting, and or make just videos about them. Thank you guys so much. Darren, I'll hit you up in regards to your questions. Sherry, thank you so much. Yes, there's social media indexes are interesting. Sheila, thank you so much. Oh, that is you are so kind. That made my day. I'm glad you like the show. So, Darren, have a fantastic day. Rachel, you are amazing. Daniela, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys all for being here. I think this is these numbers have not been. We have not had so many people in the live show for the last month. So I'm glad to see we got up to 2021. So I'm super pumped to do that. So thank you guys so much. I'll make sure to get those last three. I'll post those three questions that I will do eventually. Probably I'll do a live tomorrow morning before I head out. But those were the three questions. If you guys really want me to answer them, make sure to let me know. But otherwise, have such a beautiful day, and I am going to call it here. Bye, guys.